I want to quickly talk about color coding inside of Visual Studio, and specifically in a C# class. I have a project over here, and regardless, it's a blank project, and I'm going to create a new class. And just for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to actually leave it called class1.cs, and I'm going to click Add. And what Visual Studio does is it scaffolds out some of the basic necessities of a class. This is common construct of a class. It doesn't write any logic for you, it just kind of gives you an outline. My class name is called class1. One of the things I want to point out is look how it's colored green. Most of the time you're going to see classes colored green, color-coded green. And if I go and create another class in this same file, now normally this is bad form to create a second class or another class inside of the same file. But I have another class in this file and it is colored green as well. And I might make another class in the same file called book, and it's colored green. And the point here is that classes are a type of thing. So classes are types. This is a book type. This is a car type. This is a class 1 type. A class is a type, and types are most of the time green, or I shouldn't say that. Yeah, a lot of the times green. It's not always the case, but certainly class names are. So if I call this one, we got car and book, I'll make a person. Class is colored green. I want to show you an example of when you use a string. When you use the shorthand string, lowercase string, and you declare a person has a name, and you're going to just set it to Steve. I'm going to hover over string, and I want to show you what pops up. Visual Studio is saying, hey, this string is really, it's kind of an alias for system.string. And system.string is a class, and notice how even in that little pop-up it has the string colored green, because string in C# is a class. And so classes are green and classes are colored green, and you can always recognize them in your code because they're colored green. Not just the ones you create, but maybe there's a class that you use. Like string is really system.string. I didn't make that, and it grayed it out because I'm not using this variable or something, but it is colored green. This string shorthand is blue, but so is some of these other keywords. The word class, it's blue. It's a C# keyword. Namespace is a keyword. I can't use keywords like I would want, like in parts of my code. I can't say class, and if instead of calling this class, I wanted to call it just class, all of a sudden it gets confused. It doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I can't use keywords just wherever I want. But class is a keyword. It's colored blue. String is a keyword. It's just an alias for system.string. Classes, the names of them are colored green. And classes are a type. So if somebody said, what is a class? Well, one of the things is that it's a type. There's other types other than classes. For instance, when you declare a Boolean, I'll just call it is old. Steve is old is set to true. A Boolean is called a primitive type. It's not green because it's not really a class here. It's a shorthand for system dot, if we hover over, for system dot Boolean, which is a class. It's actually a thing called a struct, and you kind of see it there. But it's commonly thought of, Booleans are commonly thought of as a primitive type, meaning it can't be broken apart into different other types. It's at bare minimum very primitive. It's either true or false. String is not a primitive, although commonly a lot of people think it is. String is actually an array of characters, or a set of characters. I have one character, I have another character, I have another character, I have another character, I have another character in my name. And characters, in fact I could declare a character, call it middle initial. I can set to just a single character, and a string really is a grouping, an array of all those, of a bunch of characters. A character is considered a primitive. A Boolean is considered a primitive. But they're called primitive types. So when you declared middle initial, that's a variable you created, a variable name you created, or I wrote. I declared it as a character. That's the type of variable that this is. The type of variable that name is a string. The type of variable that is old is a bool, which is a primitive type. Hopefully that helps you identify, seeing what classes, what color they are. They're green, and that they're types, just like character or string or Booleans are types of variables. In fact, in my person class, I'm going to declare a book called My Favorite Book. And where did that come from? Book came from right up here. So I've declared a variable called My Favorite Book. And My Favorite Book isn't a type, it's a variable name. But what type of variable that is? Well, it's a book. Just like true is the value for is old, and what is it is old? Is old is a Boolean. What is old's type? Is a Boolean. Green usually indicates, if not all the time, indicates the name of a class. Blue colored words are usually keywords in C#. Classes are types. And other primitive types, character and Boolean. String is actually a class. You can see the word class. A lot of the times I can see that character is not a class, it's a struct in C#. Regardless of what that is it a lot of times people refer to this as a primitive type, and Boolean is a primitive type. Classes are colored green, keywords are blue. Classes are types. When you declare a variable, you first tell it what type that variable is going to be. Hopefully that helps a little bit in understanding classes and types.